Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Adrienne and I am the Reluctant Knitter. I have not posted a video in a while and I have decided to kind of go in a new direction where I do separate videos for finished objects. And so what I would like to do is take you through the whole process of when I start a project, when I complete a project and everything in between. So today's video is about this bag. This is the Dreamweaver Tote bag. It is by Hello Bargello, which is a company that was created by Brett Barra. So you can see her on the back of the pattern here. And so I will put all the links down below of what I can find. I purchased this kit at New York Sheep and Wool 2024. So today is November 13th or something, and so I went to Rhinebeck on October 18th, I think it was 18th or 19th and 20th this year, and so I purchased this kit, and so this is what you'll be watching today. I hope you enjoy it. Next project that I'm going to be working on is a Hello Bargello project. I like to call it Bargello, but it's Bargello. So Hello Bargello is a company by Brett Barra or Barra, I'm not really sure. And she's the creator of Hello Bargello. And Bargello, I'm not particularly familiar with it, but apparently it is a crafting style, I believe, that has been around for a long time. And I just got back from Rhinebeck, and so I bought this kit there. So this is the kit for the Dreamweaver Bargello tote bag. So I had seen it before at other Rhinebecks and I just never got it. It's not the most inexpensive project. So I never really got it, and well, I never got it. It's not like I never really got it. I never got it. So, you know, as a crafter, you think to yourself when you see certain things, like, I can figure out how to do that on my own and I don't need to spend over $100 on a kit, which is technically true. I can figure it out, but I've seen this at my last however many Rhinebecks I've been to, and do I ever figure it out? No, I don't bother. The other thing is too, is that I could purchase all of the things needed for the kit, but at that point I'm going to have more than I need. So I'd spend the same amount to make 3 bags, but am I going to make 3 bags? Probably not. So, obviously the cost of something does not go, the cost of something is included with all of the other things. It's not just, I didn't just pay this much for some yarn and a pattern. I paid this much for the appropriate amount of yarn that I need for the pattern and, you know, the other materials that I need. So I figured, you know, cost is in the eye of the beholder. Worth is very subjective. And to be honest, I do think that it's worth it. I do think it's worth it to have it all together and have a ready to go project where you don't have to go to the craft store. You don't have to come up with your own ideas for colors. You don't have to, you know, buy all of the materials. It's all together for you in one kit, one beautiful kit. So what you get is this booklet. It's a lovely produced booklet with all of the, you know, beautiful pictures. It has all of the materials that you need, all of the wonderful instructions. I don't want to show too much of it. You know, and all of the instructions on how to construct, you know, how to construct the bag. It also has instructions on how to do a lining. There's an optional lining, so it has all of the instructions on that as well. And it's a really nice booklet. It's not just like a PDF that you print off with your own computer paper. It's a beautifully produced booklet. The next thing that you get is the bag. So this is a reusable, I don't want to cover my mouth, a reusable zipper bag. It is, obviously it's clear, so it's vinyl. And it has all of the colors that you need. This is the color I'm gonna make. If you haven't noticed by now, it is a burgundy. It's called rust gold colorway, but you know, in person, and a lot of people look at it and say that it looks brown. So it is the brown colorway, but it's rust gold. So that's the one that I've chosen. So you get all of the, what's it called? I just looked at it, tapestry wool that you need. You also get the handles. You get the, you can't really see, but it's like the magnetic snap closure, and you get tapestry needle. And then you also get all of the plastic canvas that you need for the pattern. The instructions, I've looked them over a couple of times because I just want to make sure that I do it right. I'm not usually one, you know, they say read all of the instructions before you start, but I'm not really one to do that. So I did look over the instructions twice, and I looked at a couple of videos on her hellobargello.com, I believe it is. She has instructional videos for every single step of the process, which is really wonderful. And some really great tips. I know it seems really, probably how hard can it be, right? Because they are just all like up and down stitches. But there are some really handy tips and techniques to use, to make sure that you have the cleanest looking and the nicest looking project. So that's what it gets. So that's what you get. So I'm going to get started. And it all came together in this, you know, in this plastic thing. So, so I'm excited to get started on it. I think it's going to be a fun, different project. It's still fiber related, but it's different than other things that I've done. And so I'm really excited to get started. And I'm excited to take you on the process with me. I'm done. Well, I'm done with one panel. Of course, Fitz thinks I'm talking to somebody. Here he comes. Yeah. He wants to be a part of it too. Okay, so you do two, almost like exactly, not almost exactly, two of the exact same panels. And then you have to do like a flap at the top that connects to the handles, and then you put the snap on, and then you sew it together. So it took me about 5 days to do this. There were days that I didn't work on it at all. So it does work up quick, which is nice. And I actually really like it. So the chart is easy to so the chart is easy to understand, but not every part of it is laid out. So basically she like shows it split in the middle. So like the chart is not accurately as wide, which is fine. You don't need that. And then she only puts like this part as far as like colors. And then you're just supposed to like mimic for the rest of the pattern, which is fine. The only thing is that I was just a little bit confused when there was only like one square, because it's like over 5 squares, and I don't want to obviously give too much of it away. And then you have to leave a square, you know, you have to leave a square edge at the bottom and then on the top and side. So what happens is like you get down here and there's only like, see that? There's only one square left. And so I didn't put one in there, and then I was like, oh, I think I'm supposed to. So I did it here, and you can obviously see the difference. Now, I'm not gonna go back and do just one stitch, because it's gonna be too much work to just do one stitch and then try to tie it off or weave it in or whatever. It's gonna take more yarn than I need to. I mean, it wouldn't, whatever, it doesn't matter. The reason why I'm not doing it, if it was like on the top or something, I would absolutely do it. But the reason why I'm not doing it is because on the bottom, you stitch it together anyway. So you're not gonna see that at all. So that's the first thing that I just felt like I personally could have benefited from like a little bit more detail, even though it's detailed enough and I figured it out, just a personal thing. You do kind of have to like, not adapt it, but you have to just mirror it, and you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I have hair in this already, which obviously I have animals, so it's gonna get hair in it. The other thing is I messed up here. So I don't think that anyone is gonna be able to notice. I'm not worried about it at all, but this, somewhere in here I messed up, and I know where it is. So these are all the same number of holes apart. This one is a shorter number of holes, and you can tell when I point it out, but like if someone's just looking at it, you know, I don't think anyone's gonna be like, wait, that one looks thinner. But what had happened was up here. So up here, I did this whole row, I did one extra square. So then each additional, see, these are all appropriate, but then of course you're gonna get to a point where you only have, you're gonna, doesn't matter. Anyway, so I'm really happy with it. It looks really cool. I'm really happy with it. This is what the back looks like. I think I did pretty good, if I do say so myself, keeping it nice and clean and tidy. So where there's bigger, so this one, the brown, I call it burgundy, but everybody calls it brown, not thinks it's brown, calls it brown. But anyway, so that whole outline part is, you know, takes over the whole thing, so you're not skipping any squares with it. But then obviously once you get to here, you have to like travel at some point. And so when you get to the smaller ones, you're traveling a lot longer. So I attempted to travel on these blue ones, and then I was like, I think she gives you plenty of yarn. You get plenty of yarn too, but I'm just one of those people that like, I want everything to be as clean as possible, and I don't like waste. So at this point, I was like, that's way too long of a travel to make me feel comfortable. Not comfortable, but whatever. It's way too long of a travel. Like, look, I could get a whole another row out of that. So at this point, I think it was, yeah, so starting with the blues down here, I started just cutting the yarn. I started just weaving it in and cutting it. And then this dark blue, I just cut. The only difference was this one up here. So here, how this is only one little line. I just get very nervous that it's gonna unravel. It's not going to unravel, but I just get very nervous. I have anxiety. So up here, instead of trying to like just weave in the one stitch and hope it doesn't come out, this one I did travel it. So I actually started in the middle here. Instead of like traveling across the row, I started here and went over here. And then I started here and went over here and then did this one and wove it back in. I'm sorry for covering my mouth at that point, but if you couldn't. But anyway, so that's what I learned. And so I did the same thing down here because it repeats 3 more times or 2 more times. So I just did this space and ran it up here. And then or maybe I did this one and ran it down here, and this one and ran it down here. It doesn't really matter, but this is my process, and this is what this episode is gonna be about, is my FO and my process. So sorry if it was wordy, but that's what this is about. Anyway, so now I have to do the exact same thing for the other side, and then I have to do the 2 panels. So I probably won't film a ton about the next panel because it's exactly the same. And then I have to do the 2 flaps, and then I can sew it all together and be done. Anyway, I'm excited. I can't stop this thing. Why isn't this stopping? Hi. Okay, so I have finished. Ooh, I was gonna take this out before so it didn't crinkle, but I have finished both panels of my bag. So these are gonna get, sewn together. So this is the outside of the bag. I realized after I had long finished the first panel and was about ready to do this color on the second panel, I realized I did the first panel wrong. It's not totally wrong, it's just 2 stitches off. So these last 2 stitches that are on in this dark blue should have actually been light blue. So let me get the picture. Okay, so as you can see here on this picture, see how it's supposed to be a lot smaller of that dark blue, whereas mine is straight across. Is anyone going to notice? No. Is it going to bother me for the rest of my life? Probably. No, I'm just kidding. It looks good. It looks fine. I still like the way that it looks. I do think that technically, I think that the smaller blue looks better, but it's totally fine, obviously. So anyway, next to be done are the 2 flaps, is what they call them. Yes, flaps. So those are these small panels. They have like a interesting little stitch design in them. The snap is going to go here, and then it goes through the handle like this. Yeah, okay. Did I show you the back side? No, I showed you the front side. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. So it goes through the handle like this and gets sewn together like this, and then attaches to the bag so that it can snap closed. So I've already started it, as you can see. This is gonna go pretty quickly, I'm sure, because it's tiny. I have to do a second one. Then what's left after that is sewing the bag together, and then optional lining, which I'm going to do a lining on it. At the booth at Rhinebeck, they had one bag that had lining and one bag that didn't have lining. It just obviously looks a lot more finished with the lining. So if you don't do the lining, this is what the inside of the bag looks like, which for me anyway is neat. I don't know if this was someone else who is less like anal retentive about how things look. Might look a little messier, but it looks very neat on the inside. So if I decided not to do a lining, it would be fine. But I also think that not having a ton of sewing experience, but having a sewing machine and wanting to learn how to sew and liking to sew, I do think it's a nice, small little, you know, project for me to do on my own, follow the instructions, and I think it'd be nice for me to do it. So I'm gonna do a lining because I want it to look perfesh. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So hopefully in a couple of days I'll be finished with the flaps, sew it all together, and then, not that it matters, the bag doesn't have to be finished before I go to get fabric, but hopefully in a couple of days. I don't have any plans. I'd like to be able to go to Joann and get some fabric. So I'll obviously take you on that journey when I do it. Okay, so it is time to go to Joann. So I just pulled in. I have pants too, actually, because I need to get thread so I can fix them, but that's not what you're here for. You're here for the Bargello bag. So I need to get fabric and I need to get thread. So I brought the little panel with the color of the thing. It said in the thing that it will look best if you get color that matches the main color. So that's what I did. And so we're gonna go in and we're gonna see what we can find. I messed up. Don't be alarmed by the crooked picture. I'll go like this so my head blocks it. Okay, because I know that would really bother some people. I messed up. Okay, so this was the first little panel. So you do this pattern, you whip stitch on either side. So you're supposed to leave 2 empty rows on the top and the bottom. I didn't do that with this one. So I did 1 empty hole on the bottom. So that left 3 rows on the top. So I did literally just realize that. Like, I don't even know how it took me so long to even realize that I did that, but anyway. So I looked to see the pictures, and so you just flip it over on the handle and then you running stitch it together. So you just stitch them together, and so I don't think you're gonna notice it then. And then when you put it on the bag, let me see where it is. So you just sew it onto the top of the bag. So you're not gonna see the 3 stitches missing on that one either. And then I'm not 3 stitches, 3 rows, whatever, it doesn't matter, you know what and then I'm gonna do a lining, and so the lining is gonna be sewn over it, so you're not gonna see it anyway. So, lucky me, I don't have to rip it all out, but I figured this is a video about my process, and my process is that thanks. I'm gonna get that on camera, you telling me that.
2 spots, usually is.
Thanks.
You have gaps.
There's gaps there?
Gaps.
Did I do it wrong?
I don't know if you just missed a couple spots. I don't want to say you did it wrong, but.
Okay, so I have finished the bag. So now all I have to do is the lining. The handles were annoying to put on, but in all fairness, the instructions say that the handles are annoying to put on. But I think it came out good, even the handle that I messed up. So this is the handle that I screwed up, and I didn't do the right amount of, like I didn't leave the right amount of squares, I guess, at the bottom and the top. So I feel like the handle came out a little lopsided, but I mean, you can't tell or anything, so it's fine. So I took you to Joann, and I got the fabric and the thread I need. So now I'm going to, I've just set up my ironing board and my sewing machine's already set up. So this is the thread, and this is the fabric, and this is the bag. So I think it'll be good. So I'm done with the lining. So you do a little, are these called like box edges, box corners or whatever, and then you top stitch the top down so it's a nice finished edge, and then it goes into the bag like so, and then I have to sew it to the top. So that's what I'm going to do now. Thank thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you enjoyed it.